5 with Arts for Learning is made possible by the Indianapolis Foundation, a Central Indiana Community Foundation affiliate.
Hello. My name is Thomas Alva Edison, and I'm an inventor. Have you heard of me? Well, I'm not one to brag. Well, let me put it this way to you. How many inventions do you think I might have created? Say it out loud so you kind of make sure you've made a commitment to it. Well, 10 would be a lot, wouldn't it? How about 20? How about 40? How about 1,093? That's how many inventions I have. How do I know? That's how many patents I have. If you invent something special that's new, say, for example, some gadget that you add to your automobile so that it gets 100 miles to the gallon, that'd be a good invention, wouldn't it? Of course it would. Well, then you send that to the patent office. In the old days, you had to send the invention itself. Now you send a drawing and instructions. And the patent office will look and say, make sure that it is original, it can be made, it works, and it's not too obvious. So I have 1,093 original inventions that work. This is one of my favorites. It's called the phonograph. Phono is Latin for sound. Graph is writing. When I first told people I was going to capture sound, they said, that's not possible. They thought it would be like this. Hello, how are you? Got away. Try again. It didn't seem possible. I've often said, when the reasonable doesn't work, try the unreasonable. And I had an advantage that other people did not. You see, every invention has a pedigree. What do I mean by that? I mean that there's a series of inventions that came before it that kind of opened the door for your invention. In this case, it was the telegraph. Do you know about the telegraph? It was the first time in human history that a message could go faster than you can walk, run, or ride a horse. Samuel Morse did it with the dots and dashes. And the first message in the 1840s went from Baltimore to Washington, D.C. Well, I wanted to make his invention better, so I was working on an automatic telegraph which would store up to 500 words a minute and play it back. 500? The average person writes 20 words per minute, and I was going to have it be at 500 words a minute. At the same time, there's another fellow named Alexander Graham Bell. I shouldn't speak badly about him. Let's see how I can say this positively. Well, he invented the telephone, but you couldn't hear it. In those days, you would say, are you there, are you there? And his invention came across, are you there, are you there, are you there? You had to know what he said before he said it so you could say it and understand it. Well, in those days, the battery and the generator, that's a source of electricity, were not very powerful. So we knew we had to figure out a way to store the dots and dashes or the human voice. And I noticed when I was trying to store them and then play it back so it could go down the wire long, far away, I noticed if you have a stylus, that's a needle, and you pass it over where the dots and dashes are on the paper, it makes a light noise. To understand it, everybody take their hand like this and say as loud as you can, I too could be a great inventor. Go ahead. Did you notice how each word struck it differently? We call those voice impressions. And I thought if you have a diaphragm with a needle on the other side and you pass tinfoil, you can have those voice impressions stick in the tinfoil. Now, every invention has to be improved, so this phonograph from 1877 is now a 1912 version. Let's see if I can make it work. The first recording I told everyone was Mary Had a Little Lamb. But if you can keep this to yourself, that's showing something. That's a performance. The first recording was one of my good assistants, Charles Batchelor, recorded, and it said something like, how do you do that? Makes better sense, does it? You don't record Mary Had a Little Lamb the first time. Now we're going to drop this down. The human voice. This was a big hit in 1917. If you're interested in being an inventor, you should see even from this. You've got to be improving your product. Now, what you might do is go around the house, look at some of the contraptions, the gadgets, then make life easier. And see if you can't come up with another one. I always say, I begin where the last man left off. Now it's your turn. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is finally working better. I got to make it so it doesn't skip. Good day. Yeah.